on somebody's wish list before this thing's over. Because I think it's finna get crazy up in here after this. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean, no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Chilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Shout out to my man Clark Moore over at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boys pays cash for your tickets. Clarky Boy pays cash. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash. And thank you for your help on our Amachi tailgate. We're going to do a TLD Logistics overdrive. Overtime. In the meantime, and I do mean you bow thy head when you say thy name. William Pattison up next year on Fan Run Radio. Shout out to Dubsy and the gang. After that, we love you. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
And here we go, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. With Brett Hullander, Garrett Armbrust, and Jackson Freeman, I'm William Pattison. We appreciate you listening along with us on this Wednesday afternoon from Knoxville, Tennessee. Plenty to cover over the next 2 hours, including Danny White, Tennessee's athletic director, hinting at possible expansion inside Neyland Stadium as the demand is higher than ever for fans to get inside the confines of Neyland and watch this Tennessee football team play. The athletic director is thinking about making some moves. We'll talk about that. Before that, as we always do on Wednesdays, we'll have our contending questions in college football as we bridge the storylines from Week 11 into the new week, which is now Week 12. Before that, we'll have our best bets look ahead, and we'll also take a look at tonight's hoops action for Tennessee as they welcome the Ospreys from North Florida. Chaz Lanier's former team comes into Knoxville tonight to take on the Volunteers. We'll get you ready for that one. And we'll begin today talking about Tim Banks and what he had to say about this Tennessee defense. So plenty to cover on a Wednesday edition of the Playbook. So happy you're here, and happy 8-year anniversary to Butch Jones being fired. It was John Curry on this day back in 2017 following the Volunteers' 50-17 loss against Missouri that he decided it was enough for this Tennessee football program. And Brady Hoke then took over as the interim coach, but that was the final brick of the Butch Jones era, and that was 8 years ago today. I don't know if it feels like it wasn't so long ago or if it feels like it was a long time ago. Honestly, I kind of lean towards that it was a long time ago. I mean, it feels all but 8, all of the 8 years. But regardless of that, let's welcome in the rest of the crew, beginning with Brett. Brett, how are you?
Pretty good. Busy night on the soccer field, but got home, watched some good basketball last night. A lot of opponents we're going to be seeing here shortly. So, college basketball is up and rolling right now. So did a lot of that last night, but otherwise doing pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of action last night on the basketball hardwood.
Yeah.
Louisville and Kentucky. That was a game that looked like it was going to get out of hand. Kentucky came back and made it a little bit closer. Gonzaga and Creighton.
Florida had a close one.
One with Florida State, Michigan, and Wake Forest.
A lot of close games.
Texas Tech, JT Toppin, my guy, had a hell of a performance last night.
Your guy. When did he become your guy?
He was my guy last year. I love JT
okay.
Toppin. Yeah. I would talk about Texas Tech a bunch. And JT Toppin was.
You love Texas Tech football, Texas Tech b-ball. We're gonna hear.
Well, I mean,
the Red Raiders. How much they paying you?
They're not paying me anything. My love for him.
You just sound like Patty Mahomes. That's about it.
My love for him stemmed from his time at New Mexico. I would love watching Mountain West Conference basketball because it goes till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and
it's like your Tuesday night college football kind of thing.
Yes, yeah,
okay,
and literally.
2
years ago, the Mountain West had a hell of a conference. I mean,
they
were really good.
Colorado State was good. Nevada was good. New Mexico was good. San Diego State was good.
Yeah.
Boise was like, you go down the list. They had
they're tournament teams. Yeah, usually.
Yeah, they had some really good teams. So, I'd stay up and watch late night Mountain West basketball. Like, it was fun. And Toppin was one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
Along with Donovan Dent and Mashburn and Jalen House. I was a big Jalen House fan. I called him. What was it? I had a nickname for him that was pretty good. But anyway, I love that Patino, New Mexico team, the Richard Patino. But that's where my Toppin love comes from. So,
gotcha.
Garrett, how about you? Obviously, some good college basketball on last night, but some people were also watching Akron and Kent State. Was that a game you were watching?
No, that was on my TV. Akron blew, Kent State blew an 18-point lead in the fourth quarter. Akron executed an onside kick, tied the game with a 2-point conversion, went to overtime, and then gave up a touchdown on the first play of overtime and lost the game. So they clawed all the way back and then sold at the end of the game. So not pretty bad beat for them. But Kent State now 4-6 after going 0-12 last season. So good for them.
Yeah, and we saw that Kent State team coming to Knoxville last year, and that was over.
Didn't they fire their coach this year?
Yeah, but it wasn't. He was doing some sketchy stuff with
Okay,
the
got
money.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, at least Kent State has gotten off on somewhat of
He
a
was
better
taking all
foot.
those Tennessee paychecks.
Yeah.
doing something with
Yeah,
them.
well, it's Tennessee and Penn State. They
Penn
turned around
State,
after the
yeah.
loss to us last year and had to go play
That's
Penn
right.
State.
That's right. I do remember that.
Yeah, tough season for the
He's pocketing
Flashes
that.
last year, but this year they've been better. What are they fighting over? The wheel?
The wagon
The
wheel.
wagon wheel. That's what it is.
Mm.
I will say they planted the wagon wheel at the middle of the field, and it's
weird
not like
one.
something you can really plant. So I didn't really get that. But
I feel like it would break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Akron has they have the turnover tire. If you create a turnover,
Yeah.
they put a tire over your neck.
I remember
Good
that.
Lord.
A buddy of mine that I
Imagine
went to
putting
high
a
school with
Good year around your
got that turnover tire last year. He played for
Really?
Akron. Yeah, he now
Wow.
plays for West Virginia. But
That's interesting.
yeah. Jackson, how about you? Happy to have you in this week. You're off on Monday, but join us today. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm pretty swamped with school.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, this time of the year, you're getting towards the end. It feels like I'm just getting piled on with assignments in some classes.
Yeah, it is this time of year around Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's the holidays, but yet the teachers, I guess, maybe they want to have something to do over the break, and they say, let's just pump on some work. I don't know, but it is a tough time of year. How many classes are you taking, Jackson?
Made him think.
I think 5. I have 5 classes.
5 classes?
I'm taking
Yeah.
15 hours. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
5 classes. Yeah, that's a fair amount of work. Yeah, I will say I envy these guys still being in college. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
fun time, but I do not envy the work. Yeah. All right, let's get into our first things first topic, and it's Tim Banks at the microphone. After its second open weekend of the season, number 21 Tennessee continued preparations Tuesday for its homecoming matchup against New Mexico State, set for 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time on the SEC Network in Neyland Stadium. The game will serve as the Vols' annual Salute to Service contest, honoring the nation's service members, veterans, and their families. And once again, Veterans Day was yesterday. We appreciate all of those who have served. And errors and omissions, I said number 21. That's what they were in the AP poll, but I guess we should go off of the college football playoff poll, as Tennessee was number 23 last night. We'll talk more about that in hour number 2. But defensive coordinator Tim Banks said the bye week provided a valuable reset as Tennessee, that currently stands at 6-3 on the season and 3-3 in SEC play, enters its final 3 games of the regular season. And on the overall assessment of the defense this year, this is what Banks had to say. Quote, "It's obviously been a tale of some highs and some lows. Some things we have done really well. Obviously, some things we want to do better. We got 3 games left. As I tell the guys all the time, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I think we have made some strides, and some of the younger guys have grown up, and I'm looking forward to getting this next one Saturday." Excuse me. A lot of you knows in that, so I'm sorry if I struggled to get through that there for a second. But this is the first time we've heard from Tim Banks, by the way, since the beginning of the season. I don't think he's done another media availability throughout the season. So this is the first time we've really gotten his opinion on this. And obviously it's a lot of coach speak. But I think it's a fair assessment saying there have been a lot of highs and lows. This is a Tennessee team that creates a lot of turnovers. This is a Tennessee team that has scored points defensively by way of touchdowns, whether it be a fumble recovery, scoop and score, a pick six, whatever it may be. You've had some of those highs. But I feel like the lows have continued to be there throughout the season. And I wouldn't even really consider it a low. I just think it's a characteristic of this team. The highs have been in some big spots and in some games, Syracuse, Mississippi State, Kentucky. But I wouldn't say like you've gotten a high in every single game. I thought the high in the Oklahoma game was the fact that you were able to string a lot of stops in a row, but it wasn't like you made a big, I guess you made a big play at the end of it with Edwin Spillman picking off John Mateer. But at that point in time, the game was kind of already decided. But in terms of the lows, I think it's more of this is a characteristic of our defense. And obviously he's not going to go into the nitty gritty and explain everything that we already know and say that our tackling is pretty bad. But even though He was asked about the tackling. We'll talk about that here in a second as well. But I think this is a fair assessment from a guy that probably knows this has not been the best season, and this has not been the type of defensive effort that they have wanted throughout the year. But I think there are a couple of positives like those younger guys. We'll talk about Jaden Perlotti here in a minute as well. But I don't know if the bye week is per se going to clean everything up heading into these final 3 games of the season. Garrett, beginning with you, what do you make of Tim Banks' assessment of the defense and what he had to say yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything he said is necessarily wrong. I mean, as you said, there has been highs of creating turnovers. The lows, obviously, this season of missed tackling and bad angles on defense have kind of overlooked the highs. But yeah, just a lot of coach speak here, like you said. Sounds like someone that's media trained by Josh Heupel to just kind of say a bunch of word salad, say a lot of words without really saying anything. So, I mean, you don't really expect to get someone to say a whole lot before a game that you should win by 40 points this weekend.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is, I guess.
Brett, what about you? What do you make of Tim Banks and what he had to say?
Well, finally, he got up to face the music. He's been dodging it all season long. Very poor effort on his defensive part. Probably one of the more disappointing units in the country this year when you look at how they were last year compared to this year. I never in a million years thought we would struggle as poorly as you have. You can say injuries or whatever, but you do have 3 guys being mocked like in the first round or first couple of rounds in the NFL draft on that side of the ball. So
yeah,
the only thing high about this season is the high yardage they've given up. That's about all you can say. It's just disappointing, and nothing he was going to say yesterday has changed my mind. And I think the only thing that's going to save him with like a Florida and a New Mexico State is that they're just 2 bad football teams. It's not going to be anything we're going to do defensively. Honestly, I just don't see it. It's so late in the season now. I don't know how your defense can improve.
You've been sitting on that one, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nobody wants to hear from him right now.
Jackson, what about you? What do you make of this Tennessee defense and what Coach Banks had to say?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Brett here. I mean, who really cares what he has to say at this point? I mean, you're on your 10th game of the season.
Yeah, going into your 10th one. Yeah,
nothing you say can speak more than what the defense has put on display for the previous 9 games, and that has been, in terms of last season's defense, an utter failure. There is still a chance that you can end the season on a high note with a good showing in Gainesville and against Vanderbilt, but nothing he says is going to show that to me until they actually go out there and do it.
Sure. So. Yeah. Well, I think it's a fair criticism, and we have all watched this team play throughout the year and all know the characteristics of this defense that at this point in the season are what they are. But when asked about the biggest challenge for this group, this is what Banks had to say, quote, "Yeah, I don't think it's one thing. When you're dealing with some inexperience, every week is a new week. Every opportunity is an opportunity for those guys to learn. Communication, I think those guys have worked really hard about that, particularly talking about the safety spot and even your nickel. Those guys being able to communicate at a high level is extremely important. We referenced tackling earlier, not being able to tackle at the clip you want to tackle at. The thing I always dig my feet in the ground, these guys are always working at. As long as they continue to work, fight, and scratch, I'm 10 toes down with these guys. And that's what they've done. Those guys have come to work every day, trying to get better, trying to give us what we've asked for. Like I said, they keep doing it. They will like the results sooner than later." And something out of this quote that I wanted to point out is communication, because I think the communication aspect of this defense is a big reason why you've seen such a big drop-off from last year and this year. Now, in the transfer portal era, there are going to be a ton of new players, and there are going to be a ton of moving parts each season. We know that. But last year, you had a veteran group, and many of the leaders of this defense had been in this system for a while. And this year, without a Ricky Gibson and without a Jermon McCoy, you're now having to rely on some younger guys like a Ty Redmond to come in and fill those spots. Colton Hood has been a hell of a player, but he's a new piece of this defense. Jaden Perlotti is a guy that's had to come in at linebacker because you haven't really been great in the pass coverage. You've got a lot of young players and guys with inexperience playing different positions. And the secondary in general, knowing Boo Carter and what he had unfold during the offseason and what we've watched unfold during this year, you've got a lot of moving pieces. You've got a lot of different players from last year's group. And communication is a big characteristic of this Tennessee defense because the play is called, but a lot of it is communicating of who you've got, where I'm supposed to be, all of that. And on a lot of these big plays, there is one or two guys that are not communicating correctly. And if one guy doesn't communicate, a whole play could be busted. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because is the communication aspect of the defense, does that warrant a need for change? Because next year, if we start thinking about it right now, you're going to have a lot of different faces on that defense. Joshua Josephs is going to be gone. You're going to lose Jackson Moy. You're going to lose, I would assume, an Arian Carter. I think he'll either go, I think he could go to the draft. Jeremiah Thielander, a guy that's a senior, he's going to be gone. Ricky Gibson, I don't know what his status will be for next year, but we'll have to see. But Jeremiah McCoy and Colton Hood are gone. Boo Carter is going to hit the portal. Andre Turrentine, his eligibility is exhausted. You're going to have a lot of new pieces. And if the issue with this year's defense was communication on top of tackling, but more importantly, communication to where you allow for these big breakdowns, how is next year's roster with a lot of new pieces going to be much better? So maybe Tim Banks and this staff should reevaluate how they approach defense and how they approach those play calls before the play. Because if these guys are out of position right now with a lot of veterans still on this team, I have a hard time believing that things are going to be quickly changed next year. What do you guys make of that? Garrett, beginning with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair assessment. I mean, especially when you have, like you said, your top two corners out, obviously McCoy and Gibson, and then you have a linebacker like Arion Carter, who's a very vocal leader on your defensive side of the ball, who's been injured, throughout parts of the season. You obviously don't have very much veteran leadership on that side of the ball, especially the linebacker position, I feel like is usually kind of where the leadership role is on the defense. I mean, you look at some of the top linebackers in the country, Arvell Reese at Ohio State, Jacob Rodriguez at Texas Tech, players like that elevate a team's defense through what they do on the field and what they do off the field, kind of being a player coach. And to your point, I think you don't really have that on the side of the ball this year as much as you would like to. You might have it with, one or two players, but you don't really have enough valuable, juniors and seniors that have been there and done this for a long period of time that have been healthy this season. And then I think another thing with the tackling that I've seen some people talk about a little bit this week has been, I wonder if a lot of those injuries that have happened this season, if that contributed to, were they not tackling as hard in practice as they usually would? Is that affected why they've had tackling problems on the field? Because I think that's something interesting to think about, is that happening of maybe there was, you had so many injuries banged up over the summer and stuff, were you just not having enough contact in practice to then tackle correctly on the field during games?
Yeah, it's a good point to bring up. Brett, what do you make of that assessment of maybe the communication being a little bit of an issue?
Yeah, I mean, communication's huge. I mean, communication's a thing I use in coaching soccer. I mean, communication is huge in every sport, and especially in football. And I know it's different in football because it's hard to communicate when it's loud in different environments. But I feel like it's been disappointing because I feel like you have leadership in all three levels of your defense, guys that have played between your D line, your linebackers, and Turrentine's been as disappointing as anybody. I thought he was pretty solid last year, but another guy with experience back there and things like that. So it is disappointing, but overall, I think it just simply comes down to the tackling because, I mean, as much as I want to criticize Banks, I feel like he's put us in good positions to make plays, and whether it's just missing a tackle or just bad pursuit or whatever, I don't know. I can't explain it because I thought we were a great tackling team last year. So the drop off has been significant and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, you can point to a lot of different areas where the struggle's been, but yeah, but you start with communication and tackling, and that's disappointing because of those are the main two things you got to do as a defense. Is communicate and tackle.
Well, we talk about those players next year. One of those is going to be Jaden Perlotti, a true freshman linebacker out of Georgia that has seen a lot of great progression this year with Arian Carter banged up. And Banks was asked about Perlotti specifically yesterday during that media availability. Quote, "We force-fed Perlotti a ton. You guys have seen the flashes. He can run. He's long. Obviously, AC is a guy that's been battle-tested, played a ton of football around here. I think him seeing the way AC works, that's been valuable. But I think Perlotti, different from some of the other guys I've talked about, man, when you look at this kid a year from now, sheesh, you get the weight on, continue to get stronger, another year in the system. I think this kid will be as good as some of the backers we've had in here in a long time. But there's a learning curve. But I do think having Thielander around, Spillman, obviously, AC, Perlotti, Harmon, all those guys, being able to see how those guys work, how they go about their business is just going to pay dividends in the future. And when you start to look at next season, as we brought up a minute ago, is Perlotti going to be one of the more important players for this Tennessee defense? And I think he's been pretty important this year because the run game, the run stopping ability, I should say, for the linebackers, Thielander, Carter, Spillman, I think do a good job with that. I don't like Thielander in pass coverage, and that's continued to be an issue. Tennessee's allowed a lot of third and longs. Perlotti, ever since he's been inserted, you haven't given up as many. There's still a couple here or there that are really costly. That John Mateer scramble on 3rd and 16 was pretty big. But in terms of the pass coverage, Perlotti gives you a better option. Perlotti gives you speed, a guy that can stick with receivers coming across the middle. I like him in that aspect, and I would have to fully agree with what Tim Banks is saying here. This guy in a year, I think, is going to be one of Tennessee's best defensive players. Arian Carter, a guy that is one of your best defensive players on this year's roster. Obviously a little bit banged up right now, but, getting the opportunity as a young guy, as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, watching a guy in Carter that gets it and has a good work ethic and is a good leader, I think will pay dividends for Perlotti as well. And I think you've already seen flashes of it this season. I believe he'll be one of the more important players on this Tennessee defense next year. Garrett, would you agree with that?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, this was a guy highly committed or highly, sought after during his commitment. Originally committed to Georgia, flipped to USC to Tennessee. Was a 5-star at one point, I think. Ended high school as a 4-star. But yeah, I mean, as you said, he's been pretty good in pass coverage this year, which is a spot where the defense has really been bad, especially on 3rd down this year. So I think if you can see a true freshman make those type of strides, you would expect to see continued development over the next couple of seasons. And maybe he can be that type of leader that's able to have better communication over the next couple of years.
Yeah. And he's gotten some great opportunities this year. He's gotten some great run over the last month or so of Tennessee football, continuing to be inserted in the lineup and make some plays. Brett, what about you? Do you feel like Perlotti is going to be one of the key factors for this Tennessee defense next year?
Yeah, he's going to have to be, especially if Carter's not there. You're going to rely on him. He's got the physical tools to be a good linebacker in this conference that you spoke of. Does get kind of lost out there, but that's just comes with the learning curve, just where to hit the hole, find the quarterback, things like that. But yeah, I mean, he's still a young kid, and hopefully he takes these next 3 games, the bowl practices, and the bowl game, and really learn all he can from Carter while he's still around. And it's only a bonus if Carter comes back. Excited for a lot of these linebackers. Spillman too. He's been popping up as well. So I think you got some good ones coming down the line. And we speak on William Inge highly. You a lot of trust in him as well to teach these guys how to play the position.
Jackson, what about you?
Yeah, I think after this season, this linebacker room is going to be left in really good hands with Perlotti and Spillman and the 2 highly rated recruits you have coming in, along with I can't think of the other freshman's name.
Harmon?
Yeah.
Jaden Harmon.
Jaden Harmon.
Mm-hmm.
And
Christian Gass, I think.
I'm not sure what year he's in, but you can't forget about Ben Bolton too. I mean, got some playing time this year as a walk-on. So I don't know if he'll be around next year.
Yeah, I believe Bolton is a senior, either a senior or a junior, but yeah.
I think this linebacker room is going to be in really good hands and going to be a a position of excellence to come at Tennessee.
Yeah, and that'd be. I mean, I think you made a great point about it earlier, Garrett. Arvell Reese and Jacob Rodriguez, those are difference makers. I think Rodriguez should be in the Heisman conversation right now. And I know you're tired of me talking about Texas Tech, but Rodriguez is incredible. And I even saw someone yesterday comparing his first 10 games of the season to Manti Te'o, who came up second, way back when. And Rodriguez has better numbers than Manti Te'o did. But those guys are difference makers, right? I mean, Rodriguez on Saturday against BYU, 14 tackles, 9 solo tackles, an interception, a pass deflection. Guy was all over the field.
He's got like 7 forced fumbles too this year.
Yeah. He's a monster. Arvell Reese is literally in the middle of games telling his defensive end and defensive tackle, don't worry, I got this. Like, I got this guy. And goes in there and busts it up.
Yeah.
Like, those are the type of difference makers that I think Tennessee does have. I think Arian Carter is that type. I mean, Arian Carter had 17 tackles against Georgia and 15 against Mississippi State. Those are the type of players you need. I don't think it's on the same level as Rodriguez and Arvell Reese, but those are the type of playmakers that you need. And I think if Perlotti can beef up a little bit, I think he's a little skinny right now. But if he can beef up, that's the type of player next year that could be a really, really big factor for this team. Finally, Banks did talk about the tackling and on the struggles that continue to pop up throughout the season. We don't have to go too much more in depth into this because I think we all know that tackling is the biggest thing. And Garrett, you had kind of alluded to this earlier, so I'll bring it up before we hit the break. Is tackling a characteristic of this defense, or is this a characteristic of poor development and coaching? And you had mentioned maybe not going full speed in practice as being a possible concern, why you're seeing injuries, why you're seeing poor tackling angles, why you're seeing guys struggling to bring opposing players to the ground. And from, people I talk to, from people that have been on the team before, that are on the team, I know that practice is sometimes a little bit light for Tennessee in the offseason. And guys kind of come in and out. And we saw that. We saw that this offseason. There were a lot of times where some of your best players would just sit out. And I'm not saying that that's a bad decision per se from Heupel. I mean, obviously you want to be precautionary, but I feel like sometimes Tennessee practice in the offseason is a little bit sunshine and rainbowy. Let's go through the motions. We've got a good team. We don't want to get anyone banged up. And I know you don't want to get anyone hurt. And we see this all the time in the NFL. Guys will get hurt in meaningless practice. And there's there are good arguments for both sides to it. But
so you don't think tackling's a mentality? Like, I feel like if you're out on the recruiting trail, you find a guy that can go hit somebody.
Well, I feel like
I mean, I kind of agree with the practicing, but I think you recruit to those guys, and if somebody's soft, then they shouldn't be out on the field.
I wouldn't really say it's a soft thing per se, though. I just think it's.
I mean, not wrapping up, like just diving at somebody's legs, like that's not.
But you also got to think too. In high school, some of these guys are just the bigger, better athlete on the field, and they can go up with these shoulder tackles and knock these kids off their feet.
Yeah. And
if they're not told once they get to campus that that's not going to fly, I mean, and I hate to say, I obviously, like, I'm a 23-year-old radio host. I'm not saying I know more than Tim Banks.
No, yeah.
But when you see the guys do the same thing throughout the season that you would see someone of that level do in high school, it's like, are they not being taught something different? Because Ty Redmond, time and time again this year, we've seen him as a 190-pound cornerback throw his shoulder into a 6'2" receiver and is unmoved. So, like, stuff like that, I think Tennessee is recruiting at a high level. They're obviously getting guys that can tackle. But I'm curious if they can tackle at the high school level because they're really that good and they're just the bigger, better athlete.
And I think it's mainly our secondary that can't tackle.
And I agree.
I don't think it's the linebackers and the defensive line, certainly.
And once they get here, are they having those tackling drills in the offseason? Are they going full speed and laying hits?
Yeah.
I think that's something to think about. Garrett, you had talked about it. I want to let you get your opinion on this as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was my point. Was we talked about all offseason, how thin the wide receiver room was, and if you lost one of the top 3 receivers and they got injured, what you were going to have to do. Maybe they just didn't want the secondary players in practice to be hitting those receivers, and cause an injury. Because, like you said, you see that all the time in the NFL. Someone, tears their ACL in practice or something.
Yeah.
And you don't want someone to get injured, but at the same time, the best teams, they always say, practice is harder than the game, especially basketball teams that are really good. I mean, they run up and down the court, and I mean, their practice is more difficult than the game. So I don't think it's fully coaching because, I mean, you had one of the best defenses in the country last year. Mm-hmm. I just think there's a mixture of a lot of stuff that happened this year that just kind of paid dividends into what you saw.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, we'll switch over to Tennessee basketball as the Volunteers host the Ospreys tonight from North Florida. We'll talk about it when we return right here on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
The following radio theater is brought to you by Men's Pro Knoxville.
Hey, Dad, can we play football?
No, buddy.
All right.
Pops, want to work out?
Maybe later.
Hey, kids are in bed. What you up to?
Tomorrow?
You've got one life, and it's too short for not nows, maybe laters, and tomorrows. If you have ED and performance issues, your family, friends, and even your career has already been affected. Book your discreet evaluation at Men's Pro Knoxville and turn your tomorrows into
today.
Yes! Touchdown!
Come on, one more, Dad.
Today!
Push, Dad. One more. Come on, push.
Hey, kids are in bed. What you up to?
Tonight.
Call 865-544-8220 or book now in under 30 seconds at menspronknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, for every man in every season of life.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your home exterior needs. If your home needs new siding, windows, doors, gutters, handrails, a deck, or a new roof, then give my friends at North Knox Siding and Windows a call at 865-689-0505. You can also visit their showroom at 5618 North Broadway. Locally owned and operated and proudly serving all of Knoxville and the surrounding areas, North Knox Siding and Windows. Online at northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service, 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
All right, back here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app 105.7 FM or 1340 AM here in K-Town on the local dial or on the X/YouTube live stream. However you're listening or watching, we do appreciate your time. Let's switch over to the hardwood as it is tip-off time in Tennessee as the number 20 Tennessee men's basketball team, currently at 2-0 on the season, is set to continue the 2025-26 slate at Food City Center Wednesday as it hosts the North Florida Ospreys, who come in at 0-1. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. Eastern Time. This game will be televised on the SEC Network Plus and the ESPN app. Andy Brock and Steve Hamer on the call. And as we always do, here's our Ken Pom breakdown. Tennessee comes in at number 12 overall. North Florida at 340. Adjusted offense, Tennessee at 38. North Florida at 269. And adjusted defense, Tennessee number 4 in the country. North Florida, 360. So obviously not a great defensive effort out of the Ospreys this time around. This is also, by the way, the first matchup ever between Tennessee and North Florida in hoops. This is one of 3 opponents on Tennessee's slate that they have never played before, joining Northern Kentucky, who the Vols took on Saturday, and South Carolina State, another out-of-conference opponent coming up here in a couple of weeks. What to watch for in this one? I think it's hard not to say you want to see Nate Ament continue to do his thing. Was the SEC Freshman of the Week last week after a very impressive Saturday against Northern Kentucky. A lot of people were griping after that Duke game about his shot selection and if the guy's going to make it, blah, blah, blah. He looks the part to me. And I know it's out of conference play. I know it's Northern Kentucky and North Florida. But this is the opportunity for him to get comfortable before you go travel to Las Vegas and take on Houston and Rutgers. So I'm looking for Nate Ament once again, seeing his growth and what he continues to do. I want to talk about JP Estrella. I'm excited to see JP Estrella play basketball tonight, folks. 17-11 on Saturday against Northern Kentucky. Those were both career highs. The game before, he had 12-5, which were both career highs. So this is a guy that missed the last 35 games of the season last year, is back in action, has been a big impact for this Tennessee team. I think him and Okpara are your most talented back-to-the-basket scorers down low. And this is a guy that I think gives Tennessee great depth as you enter in much tougher competition and SEC play. The bigs alone, 5 of them you can go to. I think Tennessee's got really, really good big depth, and that's going to be a huge positive of this season. Looking at the glass, looking at the paint points, looking at JP Estrella in this one as well. Finally, I'm looking for three-point shooting. I'm still on the hunt to find who's going to be that starting 2 throughout the year, because I know we're only a couple of games in, but I'm already starting to form my hypothesis of what we might see during SEC play, and that is Jacoby Gillespie running the 2 alongside of Troy Henderson that plays point guard, just so that you can allow Gillespie to come off pin downs and come off flares and have action for him to get him open, very similar to what you saw with Chaz Lanier and Dalton Connect when they were here. Because right now, I don't think Amari Abrams that guy. I don't think Ethan Berg's that guy. I don't think you have a guy that can shoot the ball at that 2-guard position. And please don't tell me you have any hope in Bishop Boswell, because that's not a guy that I have a lot of trust in shooting the 3 ball either. So those are the 3 things I'm watching for right now. Nate Ament, can he continue to make those progressions that we've seen over the last couple of games? JP Estrella and the bigs down low, what are those glass numbers and paint points look like? And then finally, can we identify who's going to be that 2 the rest of the way? You're running out of time before you play some good teams to figure that out. That's what I'm watching for. Garrett, what about you?
Yeah, as you said, this is a team that gave up 100-plus points when they played Florida last week, so you're hoping that you can go up and put up a good offensive effort. Estrella looked really good in the last game. I think he had 17 points or something like that, so pretty impressive what he's done. He's honestly looked like the most impressive big that you've had so far this season, and for someone that didn't play much at all last year, that's very impressive, coming off basically a year-long injury. I'm interested to see 2 guys. I think Amari Abram really needs to start playing well these next couple of games, or he's going to be finding himself on the bench, because he has not done really much of anything through the first 2 games of the season. And I hope to see Jalen Carey play a little bit better. I think you need to probably get 10 good minutes out of him a game. And again, to me, he just seems like he's a little bit out of control down there. He seems like a guy that could get in foul trouble pretty easily. He doesn't seem like he's cleaning up rebounds into points very well so far this season. And he was someone that came over from Vanderbilt that I was pretty excited to watch this season. And I've been a little bit underwhelmed by both of those players so far this season. So hope to see those two guys improve this game, because you would expect pretty much everyone to be able to get some minutes in this game.
Yeah, I like Jalen Carey in the sense of he's a guy that can bang around down low, and I think he's very athletic, but haven't seen a whole lot of him in these first couple of outings. I do think he can be a valuable player for this team, and again, I think you have very valuable depth down low, but JP Estrella, I would agree, right now the most surprising player has taken the biggest stride from last year to this year out of remaining players. I know you didn't have a ton of them, but I think him and Felix Okpara, having both those guys at your, at your fingertips is really impressive and very positive for this Tennessee team going forward. Brett, what about you? What are you watching for tonight?
About nothing.
Oh, come on.
What am I going to learn?
Yeah. Look, it's early in the season.
I mean, they're going to do the exact same thing they did in their first two games.
Well, you would hope they do. You would hope they perform the same way they did Saturday.
This is the worst thing they played. I mean,
worst defensive
I mean, they should
team.
Dominate. They're going to go dominate. We're not going to learn anything that we don't already know. Estrella's going to have another 15 and 10. I mean, you can book it. Like, the question I have is Mint going to play? Is Boswell going to play? I know they're nursing injuries.
Correct.
They sat out yesterday's practice. So that's kind of what I'm watching for. Like, we don't want this to be an issue going forward. So they may not even play, but, and personally, I think there's no need if they're nursing something. But, I mean, I don't know what you mean to say. Like, I'm a little worried. I'm getting more and more worried each game for the two guards. I really am, because they're struggling against weak competition right now. Nobody seems to want to take over the reins. And right now, I mean, honestly, Boswell's been the best. I think he's giving you a little bit of everything, not to the Meshack level, but he's doing a little bit of everything in the box score. He did that on Saturday, I thought. So Boswell's the one that's taking these reins right now, and that's the way it seems to be going. I think he'll be the starter until somebody else steps forward that wants that role. Maybe if you need more offense, then maybe you look to a Berg, but those are the big things when we get to better competition that are going to be what more I'm looking towards, I guess. But as for tonight, there's not much I can say about tonight's game.
Do you like that though about Boswell? Do you want him to be that too? We mentioned he mentions Abram. I mentioned Abram as well. I just don't think you have a guy.
I think Boswell's your best wing defender. I do, and
I think you have a lot of defense already.
I think he's their best defender, whether you have Berg out there or not. I think that's why Barnes has him out there. He trusts him. He's a big guard. He's probably going to be on the best perimeter offensive player, I would say, most games. So Gillespie's not having to run around and do all that because we need him more on the offensive end. So I think he's trying to find a guy that fills that Meshack role as best he can. And I think Boswell has stepped up right now in these early parts of the game. So I don't think you can play him if the game gets to be more offensive, but for right now, I think it's going to be Boswell until somebody, like I said, somebody steps up and takes it from him. I think he's been your best two guard to start the season.
Jackson, what about you? What are you watching for in this matchup against North Florida? Obviously not a huge one, as Brett points out, but still another opportunity for a team that has a ton of new pieces to get some action together. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's another opportunity to build off a really good offensive showcase last game. But I'm also kind of in the same boat as Brett, where if you've got some guys that are nursing injuries, just rest them. I mean, you knock on wood, you should win this game. And you should come out of this game completely healthy. There's no reason to risk it and play a guy that you want to rely on later in the season in the third game of the season.
Yeah.
And risk a stupid injury. So I look for a good game to see what you have off the bench.
Okay. Any of these freshmen that you guys are intrigued by? Because one guy for me is Troy Henderson. I continue to mention him a ton over the last couple of weeks. He's a guy that I heard a ton about this offseason. When I would check in with my basketball folks, I'd say, what's going on? It'd be Gillespie's a really good shooter. It was Nate Ament is going to be a star, and it's watch out for this Troy Henderson kid. And I think Troy Henderson has the opportunity as you get into SEC play to be your starting point guard, and you have to move Gillespie to the 2 because you don't have the shooting. And I think this is going to be another really good Rick Barnes defensive team. But in the SEC, when you're going up against Alabama, Florida, Kentucky, I mean, you could throw Arkansas in there as well. There are going to be a lot of really talented offensive teams. And over the last 2 years, you've been blessed by having a Chaz Lanier or a Dalton Connect. And Jordan Gainey was a really valuable offensive player as well. He could go get a bucket. I think you've got 2 guys this year that can do that, at least at 3 levels, and that's Gillespie and Ament. You've got to find a guy that can also do that. I think Henderson has shot the ball well, by the way. Henderson shot the ball well from the 3-point line, not a whole lot of volume. But
he was 1 of 6, I think, last game.
In the opening game, he had 2 shots.
3,
He was 2 of 3, had 6 points there. So, I think he's a guy that could definitely play that role as the season goes on, because I really feel like you're going to have to put Gillespie at 2. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't bring the ball up anymore, but you need another point guard alongside him that can draw enough attention offensively that allows him to get in those sets. I don't think Boswell demands that attention. Now, Boswell shot, 3 of 5 from 3 this season so far?
Mm-hmm.
That's more than, I think he only took 5 shots from 3 last year in total. So he's at least making an effort to shoot the ball. And so far what we've seen, it's good. I just don't think he's going to demand enough attention. And I think Henderson's a guy that is a little bit Zakai Ziegler-esque, like a guy with a chip on his shoulder, undersized, speedy. I like the possibilities you have with him. Maybe I'm way off on it here in a couple of months when we continue to dive into this team.
What's realistic for the 2 guards? For the season, how many shots do they need to make, per game? Because all your volume of shots are going to be coming from Ament and Gillespie, and then cleaning up whatever with your big. So I'm wondering how much you're really going to need, because there's games where Meshack didn't even score and you're still winning basketball games, So I just wonder how many you looking at. 3 to 4, 2 to 3, you need, because people are going to leave these guys open.
You need someone that demands enough of a threat, is what I'm saying. Someone that's going to at least demand attention to where you have options.
Because I think they're going to leave them open. They're going to be more focused on Ament and Gillespie, and things like that. Teams are going to sag in with all the bigs we have, you know. So somebody's going to have to make a shot to where, or show they can make a shot to open things up for some of these other guys.
Yeah, I would agree. Garrett, anything to add on that?
Yeah, Henderson and Berg, obviously, you need them to be good just because that's a position of need. Obviously, Henderson, he shoots better. Meshack was never really a shooter. Obviously, he made the shot against Alabama and stuff, but he was never someone you kicked it out to, behind the arc to shoot. As for freshmen, I'm still buying all the Dwayne Brown stock I can. I know you have a lot of people down there in the paint that can play, but the guy's a 6'10" freshman that's looked really good so far. I've been really impressed the way he's looked so far, and he seemed like he was kind of undervalued coming in, wasn't overly highly recruited, kind of came in this class, and I don't think a whole lot of people were extremely familiar with him. I wasn't that familiar with him until camp started, but yeah, he's been extremely good the first couple games, so excited to continue to see what he does.
I just wonder how the bigs are going to work, because Estrella, Okpara, and then what are you doing with Phillips? It's you can't. Can you really go and play 5 bigs in a game?
Phillips he's athletic, but he's not.
So is he 5th on your depth chart right now? If you were going through your bigs,
I'd say if I went through the bigs right now, it's Okpara, Estrella.
Oh yeah, your 2 starters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okpara, Estrella, and then
is Brown ahead of Carey and Phillips for you?
I think Carey's at the bottom.
Who's Barnes' first call?
I think 5 for me.
I think Carey's 5 right now.
Who's Barnes going to first off the bench as far as the bigs go?
I would go Brown.
I'd go Brown and Phillips.
Okay.
I think Carey will be beneficial once you get in the SEC play, and if you get a guy in foul trouble, you can have Carey go in and bump some elbows with him. But,
right.
I don't know. I haven't been totally impressed with him so far through the season, but we'll have to see. All right, when we come back, it's our Best Bets Look Ahead presented by VIP Play. Stay right here. It's Fan Run Radio.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your smile says it all, so make sure it's saying the right thing. At Knoxville Smiles, we believe healthy teeth mean happy lives. Whether it's a routine cleaning, whitening for that big event, or fixing a nagging toothache, our gentle team is here for you. With flexible hours, family-friendly care, and the latest technology, Knoxville Smiles makes every visit stress-free. Don't wait another day to love your smile. Call Knoxville Smiles today at 865-539-1776 or book online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Hi, this is Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group at Realty Executives, and I know there's a lot of choices here in East Tennessee when it comes to choosing a realtor. Here's why the Kregner Group is different. At the Kregner Group, our motto is walking by faith, serving others. It's how I live my life. It's how I run my business. Here at the Kregner Group, we're committed to doing real estate the right way. Faith, honesty, integrity. The Kregner Group. Call me anytime at 865-742-1035 or visit my website at boknowshouses.com.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw premium vodka. Please drink responsibly.
All right, back here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us, however you may be doing so. Now time for our best bets look ahead as we head into Week 12 of the college football season. A really solid Saturday as we went 4-2 plus 2.6 units. So let's get ready for this upcoming week as we've got some good action as well. Talked about a couple of these games yesterday. One I'm kind of eyeing at the moment. Clemson and Louisville. The Cardinal right now, -3. Cardinals, I should say, plural. Cardinals are -3 at home against Clemson. That line does not make a whole lot of sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it makes dollars. Words to Johnny Hodge, who does a great job with Desert Dog Media and the Cover Boys. Clemson had a motivated win last week. They look good against Florida State. Now, I know that's a statement that is going to sound stupid, look good against Florida State, but they were motivated. They had a little pep in their step. They still have a really talented team. Do they go on the road and upset Louisville in a spot where the Cardinals are up against it in terms of their college football playoff hopes? I'd look at that Clemson line +3. We'll go down the list where we've got a couple of other interesting matchups. Pittsburgh and Notre Dame. We talked about this one yesterday. It was at 11.5. This is jumped up to 12.5 now. We've seen 2 points of movement in the last 2 days. I would still lean Notre Dame here as Pittsburgh doesn't seem to care about this one, as what Pat Narduzzi had to say. Duke drops a point to 4.5-point favorites against Virginia. I still like the Blue Devils here. I think Virginia is not playing good football right now. A very tough loss to Wake Forest in their own building. Duke at 5-4 is still eligible to make the ACC championship and the college football playoff. I feel like with all the chaos we're going to see this year, we're going to watch this thing unfold. And I'll take Manny Diaz's defense up against a Virginia offense that is prone to turnovers and prone to some mistakes through Chandler Morris. I like Duke at home here. Rank versus rank matchups that still stand as system plays. USC against Iowa, they're 6.5. Alabama -6 against Oklahoma. And then Georgia -6 against Texas. Those will all be plays on Saturday. And really outside of that, I continue to look at TCU and BYU. This is a line that has stayed still at 4.5, no movement. But I look at maybe the Horned Frogs coming in and getting an upset in Provo. So those are the games I'm watching for this upcoming week. It's our best bets look ahead presented by VIP Play. Folks, make sure you go claim your welcome bonus on the VIP Play app when you spend $20, you'll get $100 in bonus bets courtesy of your friends at Fan Run Radio with the code FANRUN in all caps when you make your account. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. When we come back in hour number 2, we'll talk about the college football playoff rankings that were revealed last night, do our contending questions, and then talk about Danny expansion. Danny White possibly adding more seats to Neyland Stadium. We'll break it down when we return right here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox, Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Today, we raise a glass of Jameson Irish whiskey to the sport of football. Hear, hear!
To Gaelic football, born in Ireland in 1885 in its thrilling blend of soccer, rugby and basketball. On a massive field, 15 players kick or hand pass a round ball that scored points over a bar or into a net. No pads, no helmet, no sense.
Hear, hear!
To college football, which kicked off in 1869 when Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4 in the Battle of New Jersey. With 11 players and helmets and pads, teams battle on a 100-yard gridiron with explosive pass plays and hard-hitting tackles. Unless you're called for targeting.
Hear, hear! Since 1780, Jameson Irish whiskey has been enjoyed by sports fans all around the globe. Whether your football is Gaelic, American, or even soccer, we can all agree on super smooth Jameson Irish whiskey. Hear, hear!
Are you tired of waiting on interest rates to drop before you start saving money? I'm Chris Burleson with University Lending Group, and I've got a better way. With a traditional closed-end mortgage, most of your payment goes straight to interest, not your balance. But with my Smart Loan, every deposit you make cuts your principal immediately and reduces interest in real time. On average, my clients pay off their mortgage in just 7 years. Call me today at 865-388-7634 or visit smartloantn.com and let's turn your income into financial freedom. NMLS number 332941.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Tired of waiting for the weekend or good weather to play around? From casual to committed, Back 9 Golf has got you covered. Open to the public and offering flexible membership opportunities, they offer 24/7 access to 5 different simulators, providing cutting-edge technology, instant swing feedback, fun mini games, and a wide variety of courses to choose from. Perfect for that solo round you want after work, or swing by with food and drinks for an afternoon with friends and family. No stressful tee times, no rain delays. It's Back 9 Golf your way. Book your tee time now at theback9golf.com.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
The following radio theater is brought to you by Men's Pro Knoxville.
Hey, Dad, can we play football?
Oh, no, buddy.
All right.
Pops, want to work out?
Maybe later.
Hey, kids are in bed. What you up to?
Tomorrow?
You've got one life, and it's too short for not nows, maybe laters, and tomorrows. If you have ED and performance issues, your family, friends, and even your career has already been affected. Book your discreet evaluation at Men's Pro Knoxville and turn your tomorrows into
today.
Yes! Touchdown!
Come on, one more, Dad.
Today!
Push, Dad. One more. Come on, push.
Hey, kids are in bed. What you up to?
Tonight.
Call 865-544-8220 or book now in under 30 seconds at menspronknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, for every man in every season of life.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Here we go. Hour number 2 on a Wednesday, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us. However you may be doing so, Brett Hullander, Garrett Armbrust, and Jackson Freeman joining you. I'm William Pattison. Great stuff in hour number 1. We'll continue it here in hour number 2. As we do our contending questions, as we always do here on Wednesday, also talk about the college football playoff rankings that were revealed last night. And Danny White also talking about possible expansion inside Neyland Stadium. Real quick, Brett, before we get into all of that.
Yeah.
I know we were a little bit pressed for time for the break, so I had to get those out quickly.
What's that?
For those picks? What are the sides right now that you're going to give me grief about Friday?
I mean, these lines are pretty big in a lot of these games. I don't really have one right now. I kind of agree with you so far. Maybe outside the Notre Dame Pitt one, I feel like Pitt, it could at least cover that number. I think we have the Narduzzi comments, and Alex is over here saying he liked Pitt to win. Even so, I think outside of that, man, I mean, I feel like it might be a lot of chalk this weekend for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if Garrett,
Garrett, what do you make of it?
What do you have anything?
This week, LSU 5.5. I could see Arkansas winning that game, honestly, straight up, especially as bad as Nussmeier played. Noon game in LSU, like it's not going to. I think their fans are pretty much done with this season. Yeah, I don't know. Arkansas is due to beat somebody with as many points as they put up.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a rivalry game too, right? I mean, LSU Arkansas.
Yeah,
two bad teams. Well, I'd say one bad team versus a team that is a disaster.
Yeah, I'm with you on that BYU one. Like especially TCU, they have McAllister and that Dwyer,
yeah, from Idaho.
Both of those guys are really good, and if Hoover's rolling, I mean, they could put up a lot of points.
I do worry about that defense. So that defense is so damn good for BYU.
Yeah,
they're tough. Let's see. I'm not working there anymore, so I can say expanding the stadium is dumb. You are nothing but a money symbol to these people. That's what Danny White, Bucks chiming in on the YouTube chat. We'll talk more about that situation here in a little bit, but let's get to our contending questions and talking about the college football playoff rankings. Let's begin with those rankings that were revealed last night by the committee. As we know, they do this at this point in the season to give all the teams a grasp of where they are in the college football playoff race. Tennessee, number 23. Cincinnati comes in at 25, South Florida at 24. Those are some new entries. And then Miami up to 15. Virginia and Louisville drop 5 spots, 19 and 20 respectively. Texas Tech jumps Ole Miss. Texas A&M remains at 3. What are your guys' takeaways from last night's ranking reveal? Really not a huge surprise for me. I was a little bit surprised that Texas Tech did jump Ole Miss because Ole Miss, even though they played the Citadel, they won 49-0, and they still have a win over Georgia, who's at number 5. That'd be the highest. Or excuse me, they did not beat Georgia. Excuse me, errors and omissions. Played Georgia really close. They have a win over Oklahoma, which was placed ahead of BYU, and Ole Miss did that on the road. Texas Tech beat BYU at home, so I was a little bit surprised there. Utah being at 13 continues to kind of surprise me a little bit. I know that they beat Cincinnati pretty handily.
Yeah.
But they were embarrassed by Texas Tech. And they also
Not a bad loss. They like quality losses too.
Well, they also lost to BYU. So I don't know.
I mean, it's 2 quality losses.
Yeah, I guess if that is a metric, but
I think we saw that.
Yeah.
You know,
well, with that logic,
see it tonight.
With that logic, Tennessee's got 3 losses to top 11 teams. We should be at number 12.
Has wins though, right? We don't have any wins.
Utah has a win over Cincinnati and a win over Arizona
State,
but Arizona State was pretty banged up.
I don't know.
Garrett, what'd you make of the top 25?
Well, they ranked a G5 team this week, so now you definitely have USF as that spot. So I guess it's between them, North Texas, and JMU now. The Notre Dame Miami one still just kind of makes me shake my head. I understand Miami and Notre Dame are going in completely different ends. Like Notre Dame's playing much better than they did at the beginning of the season, and Miami's playing significantly worse. But at the end of the day, Miami, they beat Notre Dame. And they both have 2 losses, so I just don't really understand the discourse of being 6 spots behind them when you beat them head-to-head.
Yeah, there's been a lot of back and forth on that. I'm in the camp that Notre Dame should be ranked higher than Miami. I think it's a big thing of what have you done for me lately and how do you look lately?
Yeah, but then did the games in September not matter?
And I know that's the argument, right? But should Florida State be ranked because they beat Alabama? Alabama's played much better football since that game. Like, they have gone on 2 different trajectories. Obviously, Florida State has racked up a ton of losses and wouldn't even be considered in the top 25. But I think Notre Dame played Miami with a brand new quarterback and a brand new defense and had to figure a lot of things out. And they only lost that game by 3 points. It wasn't like Miami blew them out of the building. They have a 1-point loss to Texas A&M, who very easily could be the best team in the country. And I know they lost that one at home. But ever since then, we've seen Notre Dame rattle off a lot of impressive wins. They beat USC by double digits. That's a team.
And they had Miami in the playoff too right now as well. Right?
Yeah, Miami would be in the playoff.
So at least, so maybe that's to what Garrett's speaking about.
Yeah.
Does that make? I guess it makes them closer in the minds of the committee.
Yeah.
You know, that they're in the playoff itself.
The thing about it doesn't really matter though, or the ACC team that's ranked. I mean, it's just going to depend on who wins the ACC. Really,
I just don't know why they put a team in this week and not last week.
Well, I maybe it was just an adjustment, and they've done this before.
Of course, they didn't have BYU. Well, was BYU still? I can't remember.
BYU's at 12.
Yeah, but they weren't in like the bracket, right?
Last week they were BYU.
So
this
they
week
added
no.
Miami and took BYU out of the bracket.
Oklahoma and BYU were taken out basically.
So they took OU out as well.
They would be the first 2 out right now.
Got you. But OU wasn't in the bracket last week, is what I'm asking. I don't think they had them ranked in like the.
Well, 11
and
they were not in there last week either. No,
yeah.
Texas got that bump up. Texas would now be in the field.
So they basically have. Because Texas beat OU, it seems like. That's why they have Texas in over.
That's another
right
thing,
now.
though. If Oklahoma wins in, like they're in. I mean, getting in is a 2-loss SEC team.
Oh yeah.
Well, Oklahoma obviously has to play Alabama this
schedule,
week.
Well, maybe not as brutal as it was.
But Alabama, LSU, and Missouri left to go for Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's not the worst. I mean, but yeah.
So my thing with Miami is they've lost 2 out of their last 4. They're not playing. I mean, Notre Dame crushed Navy, and I get it, Horvath didn't play, but they handled USC. Like I think Notre Dame's just playing better football right now. And the Boston College win doesn't look as sexy, but they outgained them by 4 yards of play. So
would you have Iowa ahead of us as the best 3-loss team? Because that's what we talked about last week, is we were the best 3-loss team last week, but now that Iowa dropped to Oregon, that gave them 3 losses, but still ranked ahead of us. Not that it may not matter, but maybe it does.
I think Tennessee's right on the level as Iowa. I mean, Tennessee's 3 losses, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma. Those are all top 11 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa has losses to
Indiana,
and Oregon. Those are 2 top 10 teams.
It was their 3rd loss.
But their 3rd loss is to Washington, right?
Yes.
I believe it's Washington. No, excuse me, Iowa State. Iowa State beat them. They beat Washington. They lost to Iowa State in week 3.
Week 2, yeah.
Week 2.
Yes,
16-13.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
So Tennessee has better losses.
Man, Iowa, though, they lost that game by 3. They lost Indiana by Basically
five,
but they took a safety at the end of the game, so basically 3, and then they lost to Oregon by 2. So they basically have lost all their games by almost 1 possession.
I don't know. I think in terms of who Tennessee has lost to versus Iowa, who they've lost to, the Iowa State loss.
I wish they had a G5 like ranking to the side so we can see where they're like thinking like the rankings are for like the possible 12 seed in this thing. Like right now they have South Florida, but like you guys always kind of know it better than I do. Like I wouldn't be able to know. You've mentioned James Madison, Tulane, Memphis, UNLV, some of those teams, but like I wish they kind of had a like possible ranking to the side there for G5 as well.
Yeah.
Like where the committee's thinking like who's the top team in G5 that who has a chance at this 12 seed, you know, as well.
Am I wrong in saying too that Cincinnati shouldn't be ranked? I mean, I
would
don't
agree
know.
with that.
They get the doors blown off of them by Utah. Their lone ranked win against Iowa State is no longer ranked anymore.
I would have put North Texas in at 25. I had North Texas ranked in my top 25 this week at 25 behind South Florida.
Well, like because AP has JMU ranked ahead of South Florida,
but I don't think JMU is better than North Texas. I would have had North Texas at 25. JMU's one loss is to NC State.
Because JMU's
or
the
Louisville,
highest
Louisville, excuse me.
Yeah,
Louisville.
like I said, JMU's ranked at 24.
They're in the AP poll, right?
Yeah, and Tulane's even at 26. Like they're all right there bunched together. So those are the best teams in G5 right now.
I mean, that's again, it doesn't really matter. It's between probably South Florida and North Texas, or the winner of the American, and then. I mean, if JMU didn't win the Sun Belt, they're out because their strength of schedule is not good enough.
I mean, South Florida should win out, right, with the schedule. Maybe Navy proves to be difficult this weekend.
Depends if Horvath plays or not.
Yeah.
It seems like it being 9.5, he's not playing.
Yeah. Real quick, Landon Kelly goes, I can't remember if it was Rusty or Roberto, but what's the take on Iowa at 6-3 at 21 and USC at 7-2 at 17? They play each other this week, but if Iowa wins, wouldn't they be the best 3-loss team with a shot based on their ranking currently? Well, I think who does Iowa have left? Is this their last top 25 matchup? Because Tennessee would have a higher ranked opponent to go.
Michigan State at home and then Nebraska away.
Okay, so yeah, Tennessee would have the higher ranked opponent remaining out of the 3-loss teams. Again, I don't.
But then like Texas, like people are talking about Texas as
well,
a
then yeah,
3-loss team.
Texas will be the 3-loss team that makes it.
I mean, OU might have 3 losses.
Texas will be the 3-loss team. That Tennessee's best chance, and again, they are very, very slim, folks, and I'm not telling you to get your hopes up about it. But the best chance is that Georgia beats Texas and A&M beats Texas. They drop out as a 4-loss team. Iowa loses to Iowa beats USC. And Tennessee beats Vanderbilt comfortably.
I mean, OU, yeah, you said OU.
There's a couple teams with 3 losses, like SMU. If they won the ACC, they could get in with 3 losses. They have. I mean, I know it's a different scenario, but I mean, you could get in with 3 losses. It's not like impossible.
I think the highest Tennessee can finish out this year is 15.
Okay.
And that's if absolute chaos happens. You're going to be kind of in the same spot as Ole Miss and Alabama and South Carolina last year. It's a little too late.
Do you guys think a 3-loss team will get in?
If there were to be one,
seems like the only one they talk about.
Texas would be the only one. Texas would be the only one that has the resume for it.
Like, would you take, like, say your Duke scenario? I mean, I guess if they win the ACC, like,
well, if Duke wins the ACC, they're in.
Yeah,
a 4-loss Duke would make it. Aiden Sadati on the YouTube chat mentions that 4-loss Duke will make it. Very well could. I mean, look at their schedule. It's Virginia this weekend, then North Carolina, then Wake Forest. Like those are all 3 winnable games.
Yeah. That's like what I was saying about SMU. They don't have a very difficult schedule. I mean, if they beat Louisville, they should go 9-3, and then they only have 1 ACC loss because their 2 losses are to TCU in the Big 12 and Baylor in the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean Notre Dame wins this weekend, like they're a lock. I mean,
Notre Dame's
with their schedule, but they wouldn't put Notre Dame in with 3 losses, right?
No, if Notre Dame loses, they're out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another one you need to possibly. Rooting guide or whatever we talk about, you know, for those that are crazy enough to think we have a chance at this.
Yeah, I think it's Rusty and Roberto are leading the charge on that. They're very optimistic. And
I'm
not.
I mean, they're not probably the only ones.
No, I know. And I'm not bashing them for it
Yeah.
either. I think that's, it's part of being a fan. It's some fun.
Sports are crazy, man.
Yeah. And look, we have seen the playoff unravel at the very end of the like in November. This is where stuff happens. I think Miami has another loss to go.
There's a lot of pressure to play for the playoffs too. Like Ole Miss folded like against Florida and different things like that.
Miami's 5-9 under Mario Cristobal in November.
It's crazy.
They're due for another loss.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to come down to if it's Georgia Tech and Duke for the ACC championship, give me the Blue Devils. I'm dead serious. Go back and watch that game. Who dominated it?
All I know is one team had more points than the other.
Yeah,
How
that's
it got
fine.
there, I don't know.
That's fine. But if that game's played over again and the same stats hold, then one team is probably winning at halftime by double digits, and that's Duke.
Duke's nowhere to be found in these top 25. Like,
Well, of course
AP
they're not. They just
rankings.
lost to UConn this week, but they still have an opportunity to play for the college football
They
playoff.
got Belichick and company too.
Oh, stop it.
Hey, they're rolling,
Stop
man. He's being mentioned for the
Rolling
Giants.
over Stanford and rolling.
Hey, it's better. I mean, better than we thought.
Hawaii rolled over Stanford. Come on, Brett. Bill Belichick is getting credit? Come on. But I mean, it would be funny, but it would be reality that Duke would make it. Would there be would James Madison get in over a Duke?
You're saying 2 group of 5 teams?
2 group of 5 teams. If the ACC champion is Duke with 4 losses, would a 1-loss James Madison make it over Duke? I think that's a question to ask as well.
I love the G5 as much as anybody. And I'm a big proponent of putting 1 in, 100%. I mean, I guess
they got a problem. They get 2 in there.
If they have 2 in, the outrage that will follow would be, I mean, they would kick the G5. The G5 would never get in again if they put in 2 this year, unless they won a playoff game. I legitimately think the American Conference champion, though, could win a first-round playoff game. I think the American's very deep. The Sun Belt this year is not that good.
I don't like the trip to Athens, though. I think would, for the G5 winner.
Oh, I mean, they're going to, anywhere they go on the road, looking at the rankings, I mean, that's going to be tough.
Now, I think they could beat.
Where could they go and beat somebody if it ended today?
I think they could get interesting with like a Notre Dame that is already shown to be susceptible sometimes.
Well, I think they could put up a fight against like an Ole Miss, to be honest with you.
An Ole Miss. Even Oregon's pretty banged up too.
Yeah. Texas, if Texas somehow snuck in.
Like South Florida's got a talented team. I don't like how they would fare over the course of a full playoff. But I think they're good enough to win a game.
I would say against Miami, but then USF already played Miami and it was not close.
I mean, Georgia's not great either, right? I mean, they're not.
Yeah, but they've just got the guys.
Yeah, but they're
think
getting by the skin of their
Georgia
teeth
defense against the North Texas offense, like North Texas would I don't know that they'd score enough, but like they would score points.
Yeah.
I think right now the chaos scenario for the ACC is Duke is the 4-loss winner. And Duke would beat Virginia. Virginia will be out of the top 25 next week. Louisville very well could lose to Clemson at home this weekend. They'd be out. And then you're down to Georgia Tech, really. Georgia Tech and Pitt are Georgia Tech, Pitt, and Miami are the wild cards here.
Pitt can ruin a lot of people.
Pitt could ruin a lot of people, and Pitt could also play their way into the.
But it doesn't seem like Narduzzi wants to go. He might get invited and say, "No, we're not going. We're out."
Pitt could honestly, right now, Pittsburgh could be an at-large bid if they win their next 3 games in the season.
And you deserve to be in.
Yeah, they would
easily.
They'd beat Notre Dame, Miami, and Georgia Tech. Those would be 3 top 25 teams. I don't think Pitt's going to do it.
They would have got a bye through the first round last year if that was the case. Yeah.
We got Rusty on the line. What's up, Rusty?
Oh, I might have heard my name or Roberto's mentioned.
Yeah, but it wasn't a stray. It wasn't a stray at all.
It was a bat call. We're talking playoffs.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't a negative way.
Yeah,
it wasn't like
somebody calling for negative Dave or Philly.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Hey, no, right now, Iowa and Tennessee's pretty much splitting hairs. If you look at SOS and SOR, and everything else, Tennessee's higher in the FPI, but that's about it. But give it Tennessee 9-3 and Iowa 9-3, and that all changes because that will be Tennessee coming off of beating 11th ranked Vanderbilt. So the numbers completely change if they both end up 9-3. But Iowa's still got to play at Nebraska, at USC, so that's going to wash itself out. USC still got to play at up at Oregon, so that's going to change too. And the real question is, Iowa's going to lose another, so they're getting to 4 losses. USC's probably just going to end up 9-3, but at 9-3 Tennessee, at 9-3 USC. USC's coming off a UCLA win, which is not great. And again, Tennessee at 9-3. That last game is coming off a Vanderbilt win. If that scenario plays out, so that changes everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't look at where it is today. You got to look at you're projecting what these teams do, and everybody's right. If Texas somehow beats Georgia or A&M, they're ahead of Tennessee at 9-3. I don't think anybody else is ahead of Tennessee at 9-3, if at all. Well, Oklahoma, if somehow they end up 9-3, those are the 2 teams that if they end up 9-3 can be ahead of Tennessee. Nobody else except those 2 would, which is why if you're hoping for Tennessee, you need Texas and Oklahoma to both be 8-4, and you want Georgia and Bama to continue winning. So your losses are to the 3rd and 4th ranked teams at the end of the year, and probably the 23rd ranked 8-4 Oklahoma team. And that gives you a really good strength of schedule because you've beaten Vandy, and your 3 losses are to committee playoff teams or committee poll teams.
Yeah. I will say, though, Oklahoma's probably going to drop. They're going to drop Alabama. I don't think they're going to beat the Tide this weekend. Missouri, that's a, rivalry type game. I think that one could get interesting. LSU at the end of the season too. I don't know what that Tigers team looks like, but Oklahoma could very well, wind up with a couple more losses. I just feel like losing to that team in your own building, though, is going to be so tough to argue against. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's, again, 9-3 Oklahoma or 9-3 Texas is ahead of 9-3 Tennessee.
Yes.
There's no question in that. It's not even, there's no discussion in that. You have to have both of those 8-4. And I think I said when I first started the conversation that there is still hope. The 2 biggest factors that we need to happen that are the least likely to happen is Tennessee getting to 9-3, because that's going to be a tough order to win in Gainesville where we haven't won in 11 tries.
Yep.
And then Oklahoma losing the second game. That's the 2 scenarios that's the hardest for us to have any argument. Are they possible? Do we still have life? Absolutely. And anybody saying we don't is just speaking in absolutes, which is never a wise thing to do.
Yeah.
Or they're just negative, and they don't want to hope because they're afraid their poor little heart will get hurt if they get their hopes up and it doesn't go their way, and they're not strong enough to take it if it doesn't go their way and they believed a little bit.
I like that. There you go. So what percent chance would you give Tennessee in the extreme scenario at the moment?
Are we assuming Tennessee goes 9-3 in this?
Let's assume Tennessee handles business.
A 1-3, like 33% chance.
You're gonna have to have some
help.
And
that's going off what the computers say.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with what the projection of the computers say. If Tennessee's 9-3, they got about a 30 to 33% chance.
Yeah, you're going to need some help. But I mean, it's not like it's impossible to get that. I mean, the ACC very well could fall out this week and you move up. Clemson beats Louisville. Duke beats Virginia. Duke ends up.
Pitt went out.
Yeah.
Pitt beat Notre Dame. That helps a ton because Notre Dame suddenly is really, really vulnerable at 9-3.
Yeah.
Because they don't have their best win would be a 9-3 USC team.
Yeah, correct.
Then Pitt went out and win the ACC, and Pitt be the representative from the ACC, and nobody else get in. That's the best scenario because they would beat Georgia Tech, they would beat Miami in that scenario, and that knocks those 2 out. Virginia and Louisville, if they end up 10-2, I don't believe any of them is going to be ahead of a 9-3 Tennessee when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So there's all of those little things that we need that we can be pulling for to give us something to believe in.
Yeah. There's always a sliver of hope, Rusty.
Hey, what's more likely? It beats Notre Dame, or we go win in Gainesville. I know they're bad, and I know they've given up, but still.
I'd say right now, I mean, and just going off spreads, I think the better odds are Tennessee beats Florida. Pittsburgh right now a 12.5-point underdog at home, and the line's moved up 2 points in the last 2 days. So I don't even know if Narduzzi really cares about it is the thing. We talked about that yesterday.
He said it. He said it doesn't matter. And technically he's right. He shouldn't say it out loud, but technically he's right.
Correct.
Winning the 2 ACC games and winning the ACC championship is way more important for their season than beating Notre Dame. But I believe they're going to come out and play good football. But hey, Vegas loves them some Notre Dame. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Vegas still has Texas will be favored over pretty much everybody except like the top 6.
Mhm.
Notre Dame would be favored over everybody but the top 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
hey, guess what? On a neutral field, we would still be favored over Oklahoma by Vegas.
Really? Where'd they do that? Where'd they do that at?
DraftKings has their power ratings.
Okay.
Everybody, Pate uses the power ratings kind of based off of FanDuel's.
Mm-hmm.
All these places have their power ratings, and Tennessee is still higher on the power ratings than Oklahoma. And the power ratings are basically saying this team's ranked ahead of this team because on a neutral field, it would be favored over said team behind them. Tennessee would be favored over OU.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, if only
anyway.
if Tennessee could have notched that win inside Neyland Stadium a couple of weeks ago. Rusty, we appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, buddy.
Giving some hope to the listeners out here. We appreciate you calling. College football playoffs are fun, though. I mean,
ESPN Power Index has you at 15.
Well, I don't know who is manning those computers,
Their
but
system is a joke.
those rankings come out every week, and it's like, how the hell is that? I mean,
would we be in over Missouri because they have a chance to finish 9-3 as well?
Well, I don't think Missouri. Missouri
one of those have to beat Oklahoma.
Missouri just got disposed of by A&M. I think.
That's not terrible.
They're not even ranked this week, though.
Coach's poll had them.
Ian's not going to help them either.
Yeah, they just got disposed of by the number 3 team in the country. Tennessee went on the road to Alabama, lost by, what was it? 17. And then lost to the number 5 team by 3. They lost by 7. They lost by 21. They lost by 21 in their own building to A&M. Missouri did.
Yeah.
So I think Missouri's long gone. They're out. And they'll probably lose to Oklahoma here in 2 weeks. So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't think Tennessee's making the playoff, but there is still a sliver of hope. You need a lot of things to go your way. I'm interested to see how the Big 12 shakes out, too. Utah, who does Utah have left? Because Utah is really high up there. I feel like if Notre Dame...
They play Baylor, Kansas State, and Kansas.
Oh, they're good.
Well, the Baylor offense.
Yeah. Arienda's probably fighting for his job right now. But if Notre Dame drops, like Utah is one of those teams that slides in. I think BYU loses another game. They'll axe themselves out. But I think Utah would be a team that could mess things up in terms of Tennessee's heroic climb to the college football playoff. We didn't even get to our contending questions, but I felt like this was enough. This is contending. All these teams are contenders, Brett.
No, they're not.
Where do you?
There's one contender in this whole list.
Is Utah even gonna have a ranked win at the end of the season?
Well, they got one right now with Cincinnati.
Okay, well,
and
Cincinnati,
Cincinnati,
I love their quarterback.
Well, I do like Dampier, but I have to be real. They did lose.
They lost by 3 to BYU.
Yeah,
and then got blown out by Texas Tech. And I mean, sure, their starting quarterback wasn't playing, but still, I mean, you get beat by 24 in your own building.
Oh, that was Utah's quarterback played. Texas Tech's backup quarterback came in there and won that. That's why it's even worse.
Dampier just wasn't healthy. They did destroy Arizona State, who was ranked at the time.
They've destroyed everyone else they've played.
Yeah,
outside of BYU and Texas Tech.
So the only really good teams.
I thought Arizona State, I think, is a good, a solid team. They made quick work of them. Cincinnati, though, I think will beat BYU in the final week of the season. So Cincinnati will probably be a top 20 team, and that'll be a top 20 win for Utah.
Well, but that's still, I don't see that being better than a win against Vanderbilt.
I mean, that may be true. But they've only got 2 losses, and those 2 losses would be, I mean, one of them would be to Texas Tech.
I guess in that scenario, they would finish with 2 losses?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I don't think Utah loses another game. I mean, Baylor, Kansas State, those are 3 wins.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
No, you're good. No worries. Landon Kelly says, can Nico do us a favor and knock off USC?
Well, USC is probably
they're
going to
lose
lose
this weekend.
They could lose multiple
They lose.
times.
They play Iowa, right? Is that who
Play
you said?
Iowa. They'll beat Iowa at home.
They will? Okay.
I don't know.
So that was one of my picks. You don't agree with that?
I forgot which one you picked.
I picked USC before the season to make the playoffs, so I'd like to see my prediction from July work out for me.
I don't even want to find my playoff teams. My playoffs. I don't.
Well, we know Clemson and Penn State were in there for sure. I'm sure Garrett
mine
had the same
too.
thing.
Yeah.
Your guys aren't the
I had
only
Clemson
ones.
winning the national championship.
so did William.
So did
William.
William.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sure. Did you guys have Tennessee in the playoff?
No.
No.
I did.
I don't think so.
Do you want to know where I had? You want to know my Big 12 representative?
Kansas State.
It was Kansas State.
Mine was Arizona State.
It's impossible to pick.
Mine was
Big
Texas
12
Tech
start the
all
season.
along.
I bet.
I did.
I don't know.
I
mean, ACC you would have known, but like
I ranked Texas Tech though. Not a lot of people ranked Texas Tech. I had Texas Tech at 25 entering the year. So at least I had
the Big 12 is just a crapshoot every year.
It's the best conference for like anything.
Drama,
literally
chaos.
any team can win it. I mean,
Yeah.
Arizona State was picked to finish last season in the
Well, and the
conference.
ACC is kind of the same this year a little bit, but
I think I had 11. I think I had 12 out of the 25 teams ranked preseason right now in the current top 25.
only 11 of them.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Most of them in that top 10.
I had all the top 10. I had BYU. I had Oklahoma, Miami. I had Michigan. I had 14.
Who was your G5 pick?
UNLV.
Okay, mine was Boise. So
yeah, yeah.
We found out week 1,
yeah.
night 1.
Yeah,
that was like the opening night of college
it
football.
was. Yeah, it was. All right, when we come back, we'll switch over to Danny White possibly expanding Neyland Stadium. Is that a good idea, and how is that even feasible? We'll break it down when we return right here on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine. Live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game.
Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Bad Boy South, Block Entertainment. I see you, Block. Boys in the hood. I like this right here. You ready? Let's ride.
All right, back here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us, however you may be doing so. We were talking college football playoff, some contending questions just a bit ago. Now we'll switch over to Danny White came out earlier today and mentioned the possibility of expanding Neyland Stadium. I'll give the full quote here. Vol Nation, with the Vanderbilt game now sold out, we are up to 27 consecutive sellouts in historic Neyland Stadium. This continues to showcase the incredible strength of the best fans in all of sports. Interest in the Vols continues to skyrocket with a current season ticket interest list of 26,972. We are actively exploring the viability of expanding the north end zone, which will allow us to welcome even more fans to Rocky Top. The congestion outside the west gates is still being addressed. We made adjustments through the year and have partnered with our on-campus partners to plan the removal of the Silverstein Looper building, creating a much larger open space at the bottom of Payne Manning Pass. We also are aware of the need to tackle the congestion issues in the upper South Concourse and are working closely with engineers to find practical solutions. Thank you for continuing to make thank you for continuing to make the Neyland effect, and we will keep working to enhance the experience for everyone. GBO. Danny White, obviously a trailblazing athletic director for the Volunteers, has been one to implement a lot of new things that others across the country have not done so. Talking about renaming Neyland Stadium to be preserved by Pilot, opening up and having plans for a Neyland entertainment district with a hotel and condos and bars to make the Neyland Stadium experience even more unforgettable. Thompson Bowling Arena was renamed to Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. And I know a lot of these just sound like dollar signs, and I get that. And they are. But when you are as big of a program as Tennessee, making money will trickle back down to the type of players that you have on the team. NIL is a very important part of sports these days. Whether for good or bad, it is. And if Tennessee wants to be competitive in all the various sports that they're good at, from football to women's basketball to men's basketball to baseball, softball, golf team's really good. There are a lot of good teams here on Rocky Top. The money's got to come from somewhere, and football is your most expensive and most lucrative sport. So you've got to find a way to make money, and that's what Danny has done. Some people in the chat right now calling it money-grabbing upcharging. Sorry, I call it like it is. Most regular people can't even go to an ETSU game, much less a Bama or Florida. And I don't disagree. The prices are high. But I also think those prices are high because people are doing that. Like, I'm a season ticket holder. I pay the base price, and I don't think the base price is expensive. Now, in order to get those season tickets, you have to pay a little bit to get that. But the problem is, at least for the tickets,
but they increased, right?
They increase incrementally, but I'm still paying base value for it, face value. The problem is, the reason why these things are so much money is because people are trying to make profit off of it. They're trying to get the tickets, and then let's go sell this ETSU ticket that is a pretty good seat that I pay for, let's just say $125 a game. Mm-hmm. Let's go sell it for $250. And then that guy sells it for $250. The other guy wants to make a little bit more profit. He sells his that's 2 rows in front for $275. And that's how we get to this point. So
you're in favor of the expansion.
Well, I'm in favor of the expansion if that means that more people can go to the games. I'm in favor of it if that makes the Neyland effect even louder. I'm for it. As long as you can fill the seats, I'm for it. I don't have a problem with adding more people. It allows, if you open up 3,000 more seats, even though my only thing is, and I saw someone tweet out about it earlier, you just took seats away like 2 or 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
For the
Danny deck.
The Danny deck.
Yeah.
Adding more seats back into it, I think, is a little bit counterintuitive to what you've already done. And also a question where you could do the expansion.
Was he is that the north end zone, or is the north
end zone?
So would they just be getting rid of that and putting the seats back like they were? Because
No,
that's kind of the way I read it.
I don't think they would take that down. I think they were referring to where the recruits sit, kind of in that
lower level.
Okay.
Lower level. That's what I'm thinking.
They should change where the donors sit.
Well, I would agree with that too. But I would, if I had to guess right now where those added seats would be, it'd be where the recruits sit, and they find another place for the recruits, or maybe just have them on the field.
That's what I was. I don't understand why they don't just give them all sideline passes.
Do you really believe there's like 27,000 or whatever that number was that are this wait list, whatever he was talking about? Like, I found that hard.
I don't know if the number is that high.
That's a ridiculous amount of people.
I don't know if the number is that high specifically. I mean, that's a pretty specific number just to throw out there. So
yeah.
I'm not calling him a liar for it.
Yeah.
I do think there are a lot of people that want it.
There's a pretty long list.
But also, I think you have to think a lot of those people on that list, too, are not necessarily from Knoxville.
I just feel like he's got to figure out this people getting in and out of the stadium. Before like you expand something.
Yeah.
Like fix the current problems first.
That building, is that building he was talking about? Is that if you're like coming down from Circle Park and you're coming down the hill, like before you would go like turn right to go to the students gate? Like, is that the one that's like, they never use it and it's on like the right side of the hill? Like if you were walking up from Neyland up to like the communications building and it's on the left, is that the building that he's talking about? Because I don't really think getting rid of that building would necessarily solve any issues.
Because it's the concourse, right? Like,
well, yeah, it's just on the hill. Like, it's not preventing anyone from walking. I mean,
it needs to open up those gates again, where like the people
you wouldn't be able to walk there. It's
right?
on a 90-degree slope.
Yeah,
I think a little bit of the problem too is people are not showing up at appropriate times. They're showing up like 30 minutes before kickoff, expecting to just waltz in there.
You should be able to.
Well, we have to remember it's 100,000 people go to this game.
Yeah, but also like leaving the game, like people complain about that too,
yeah.
like the traffic, like leaving, like and stuff like that. And what's going to happen when G10's completely all this renovated stuff? He's making a big mess out of this. Is what he's doing.
I will say I go to every game about an hour and 15 minutes early. I'm in the stadium within 10 minutes. I don't wait in many lines. I get right in. Now walking out, obviously everyone has different times when they leave.
Yeah.
I stay till the final whistle and then some, and I don't have a difficult time leaving.
But don't you think like all this construction he's going to be doing he's creating a huge problem, and then he's going to up and leave before all is even done? And you don't need to make Neyland bigger. You don't. It doesn't need it.
But if there's a demand for it, though,
I don't know.
If it allows more people to get in,
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
What about you, Jackson? What do you think?
I'm in a very small minority that actually thinks they should reduce the overall capacity of the stadium to make the overall seats bigger. When I was at the Oklahoma game, sat next to a very large dude. He sat on top of me for most of the game, and it's just the bleachers are cool because it's like the old aesthetic or whatever, but it's 2025. I get spoiled when I go to a newer stadium and I have like a bucket seat or something that is my own space. If I pay $400 for a ticket, I shouldn't have to worry about the dude next to me sitting on top of me. And you look at the loudest recorded stadium in the Guinness World Records is a stadium that sits 69,000 people. You don't need 100,000 to create an awesome environment. You don't. And I understand there's people, lines out the door to get into the building and see them play, but that's not the reality. Not everybody gets to go. So, I think increasing the size is just going to cause more problems in the long term and the short term. It's just not a good idea.
Garrett, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, as a student, I think every student would want the student section expanded, although I know that that's never going to happen. But there are a lot of students still that I know that are seniors that sometimes don't get tickets, you're raising your hand, which I think is, kind of sucks. I 100% agree with you about, the size of the seating is a little bit annoying, but I mean, at the same time, I don't think it's financially possible to put seat backs in every seat. Like, that's just, I went to a lot of football games this year. I sat in a bleacher at the Kentucky game. I sat in a bleacher at the Alabama game. I sat in a bleacher when I went to the Ole Miss LSU game. The only time I sat in a seat back the entire season was in Atlanta, and that was at an NFL stadium.
Mm-hmm. I probably reached a little bit with that one, but even I sat in a bleacher at Kentucky too, and I had ample space.
Yeah.
And I sat in a pretty crowded section.
I don't know. I still think, if you have the ability to have 101,000 people that can sit in your stadium, I think, I don't know that you necessarily need to make it more and push it to 105,000, but I also don't think that there's any reason to make it less. I think the way that it is right now is pretty solid. I liked it before, you had that new area that they added a couple of years ago, and you had like 104 at one point, 103. And now you're at like 101, 715. But I think above that 100,000 mark, you're one of the top like 6-7 stadiums in the country, which I think is pretty cool to be able to go to again. When you go to Neyland Stadium, it's so much bigger than when I went to the Ole Miss Stadium or the Kentucky Stadium this year. It's just unbelievable how much smaller those stadiums are than Neyland. Neyland is just much bigger than anywhere else that you'll go, really.
Home schedule's going to be better too.
Yeah,
for years to come.
Home schedule next year's going to be awesome. Auburn, LSU,
you gotta win
Texas.
You got to win them.
Yeah.
People aren't going to come watch to lose a product.
Real quick, we'll read some of these YouTube chats and hit the phones. Buck says, no problems have been solved this season, not a single one. Chris Griffith, the issue with getting in the stadium is you have people going to the wrong gates for starters. Then they're going in the wrong direction. I will say I've seen that multiple times. People are just kind of stupid at times. Buck says, when we left Oklahoma, it took 2 hours to get to our parking area. Obviously, we could have walked, but the traffic is ridiculous. Chris Griffith chimes in again. The problem is having an athletic director that is sitting in a box and has no idea how the regular fans feel sitting in the stands. He could have swapped seats with me and go sit in QQ row 7 one time. I like that. And that is true. He's not a guy that's directly in the field. You mentioned student seats. Danny White said that's something they're looking at, but don't know if it's viable. We'll head to the phones real quick. Got a couple of minutes before the break. Roberto on the line. What's up, Roberto?
You boys sitting down. Berto's going to take you under wing for a minute and shake fists at the clouds. Is that okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the deal. I have missed 6 home games since 1988. Okay? 3 of those, I had the flu. 1 of those, I had a bacterial infection and 105.6 temperature, and my parents wouldn't let me go. Okay?
Okay.
And then the other 2 were because I just got married and we were poor. Okay?
Okay.
Other than that, I've made it work. I will be there this weekend. I will be there in 2 weeks, unless, God forbid, something sickness happens, like real bad.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay. My family has owned tickets since 1952. Okay? My credentials are all over the place. I don't need credentialing from anybody. I have my own, right? Danny the plumber. Here's the deal. He's lying to you. I have it on great authority that they sold 13,000 season tickets last year to third-party brokers. They're lying to you. Okay? They can't fill out what they have. They could say, we got 26,000, 27,000 on this list. It's BS. Okay? That's not true. It's just not true. Even if they did, they have the capacity to sell half of those to people. But Danny gets kickbacks and lots of money from third-party brokers. Okay? That's fact. Full stop. If they expand this stadium, it's a fool's errand. If they go below 100,000, I also think that's a fool's errand. It's fine the way it is. Guys, I've sat on bleachers my entire life over there. I think we did a fact check kind of count one day. I've been to almost 300 football games over there. Okay? That's a lot because I'm old, right? Actually, I take it back. I think it was 280 the last time we counted. Okay? But nonetheless, like, it's perfect the way it is. This has been the worst year as a fan I've ever experienced since 1988. I was at the 1982 Alabama game. How about that? I was one. And guess what? Back then, your parents didn't have to have a ticket to take you in the game if you were an infant. And now that kid has to have a $500 ticket just like everybody else. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm sick of it. Danny's nickeling and diming the crap out of people like me. Guys, there is a rumor that my tickets, which were $1,600 a piece this year, are going to $2,800 a piece next year because of our home schedule. And do you think when we have a crappy schedule in 27, that number is going to come down from $2,800? You guys are smart. Is that going to happen?
No.
Exactly. Danny is nickel and diamond people. He's lying to people, and it's starting to really piss me off for one reason in particular. We're not very good at football. How about you take all the money you're thinking about dumping into a stadium renovation and buy football players? Anybody?
Roberto, you're spitting right now. I'm letting you preach.
It's unbelievable. Don't shoot the thing that makes you the money. Don't kill the golden goose. And they're killing it. They're killing the golden goose because they don't care if we're good or we suck. 9-3 is not good enough here. I know it is for Danny No Nugs, Danny Dime Store, whatever you want to call him, Dollar Store Dan, Convenience Store Danny, all the things. I know that's good enough for you. It is not good enough for us. And if you're going to charge my ass $2,800 for 2 seats, $5,600 for 2 seats next year, I'll probably pay it, just like my grandparents and great-grandparents did for 74 freaking years. I will probably pay it. Bring me a damn winner. I'm so sick of it. Stop expanding everything and ruining everything. Thank you. Have a blessed day, gentlemen.
You as well, Roberto. Wow, how about that?
Man, he's not probably the only one that has that strong opinion as well.
No, and I think there are a lot of people that have that opinion. And I think he makes a lot of great points too, though. I mean, he's been there for a long time, longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
And I just, I say I don't mind expanding because if you can allow, you can allow. But, I mean, I think Neyland Stadium is good as it is right now. I don't want to do more construction. My only thing would be making that recruiting section just seating now for
So what do you do
fans.
with the recruiting?
Well, I was just saying give them field passes. Let them just walk around, do whatever they want.
Just sit with the common fan, I guess.
No. Just they have field passes. They can walk around.
Just stay on the field during the game.
And they can have
they can go in the club when they want to. That's down on the field that they walk into.
That's true.
Because I've had field passes before, and you can walk around wherever on the field. I mean, obviously, don't go on the field, and you stay away from the.
Yeah.
But it's
Danger.
I mean, you know where to go and where not to go, and those players would as well.
Yeah.
I think they'd honestly get a better kick out of just being on the field. I mean, they could see. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, have you heard that they probably were expanding? I was shocked to see the article about expanding, honestly, when I first saw it.
This just came out from
morning.
Danny today.
Well, I know. I just didn't know if there was rumors you were hearing in the background or anything like that. Like, it was shocking to see, like, they were talking about expanding.
No.
It's just like, goodness gracious.
And I don't know how much of this too is just Danny just talking out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And just saying, hey, we're thinking about it. I don't think there's anything concrete in being put in place because they've got a lot of other stuff going on that they've got to finish. That Neyland District's one of them.
Whenever that's going to start.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel he mentioned the north end zone. My projection would be it's that recruiting section below it.
It's the only place it could be, right?
And that
If
would
you're
be,
talking
and
on
that
that
would
side.
allow how many? It's like another. Probably it gets you back from what you. I mean, it'd probably be about half of what you had up top.
Yeah, I don't think it would get you more than 1,500 seats.
Yeah, that's not even like worth it, really. Especially if it's true, and Roberta seemed pretty adamant who he's selling these tickets to, as well.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. Well, we went a little bit long on that second segment, so we're going to hit the break and call it a day here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play. Coming up next, it's The Drive. Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, the Bear, and Walker Smith, no relation. We'll round out your Wednesday from 3 to 6 right here on Fan Run Radio. For Garrett Armbrust, Brett Hullander, and Jackson Freeman, I'm William Pattison. We'll see you same time tomorrow, 1 to 3 right here on Fan Run Radio.